What's up, Space Pirates? This is your Admiral, the effortlessly entertaining Dr. Disaster. And it has been interesting as hell to watch over the past few years as the video game industry has been falling apart, with 90% of the poor outcomes being self-inflicted.
Are we hit? More or less. I'm sorry. They got us.
You can argue that Sony has been worse than most in this regard. They constantly self-sabotage because the people that run the company, at least on the PlayStation side of things, are utter fools. I mean, we could point toward failures like Concord, a game that lasted less than a month before they pulled it from the market. Or we could look at the self-sabotage that we saw with Helldivers 2 last year, where they shut down the game's momentum with the PSN requirement for Steam users. But really, if you want a perfect picture of Sony screwing themselves over, take a look at what they've done with Stellar Blade.
Listen, we f***ed up.
The sabotage was bad enough with Stellar Blade on the PS5. Sony bent the knee to the game journalist bozos who swarmed the game, calling it problematic. Sony forced Shift Up, the developer, to self-censor, altering a shitload of outfits so that they showed less skin. And as a result, a ton of people who would have been happy to support the game decided to spend their money elsewhere.
You stay the hell away from me, you hear? Yes, sir.
Well, now that the game is set to release on PC, Sony has decided to open up a whole new set of self-sabotaging problems. First of all, it looks as though they are adding Denuvo to the game, which is essentially security software. If you aren't familiar, PC players despise it since it typically affects a game's performance capabilities, and it also affects the ability to mod the game, which is a big deal for a title like Stellar Blade, where gamers definitely want to mod the outfits for Eve. Shift Up is claiming that the Denuvo will have no negative effects, but that's pretty hard to believe without seeing it. And to top it off, there are region lock issues going on with the game where people in 130 countries are unable to purchase the game and play it on Steam, which the word is that Sony is the one responsible for this asinine happening.
What the hell are you doing? I'm kicking my ass! Do you mind?
Alright, me hearties, make sure you hit the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, and also, please consider supporting the channel by becoming a member. Audiobook of a dark fantasy novel that I've written is available for members right now, and there is also a space pirate cartoon in the works. The thing is, I realized it's important that we not just complain about the things that we don't like in our culture. Alternatives have to be provided. So I humbly ask that you consider becoming a member of the channel for the fraction of the cost of your daily cup of coffee. But alright, let's chat about what's going on with Stellar Blade. Seeing it release on PC was something that a lot of people were waiting for. With all of the issues that we've got going on with the game, 130 countries can't even buy Stellar Blade right now, but Stellar Blade is still currently the number 3 bestseller on Steam now that it is available for pre-order. It is sitting right behind Doom the Dark Ages, which is the number 2 top seller on the platform at the time of this recording. It is really impressive that Stellar Blade can hit this level of success, despite the fact that so many people can't even buy the game right now, and despite the fact that a lot of people are rightly pissed off about the Denuvo edition in the game. Now, if you aren't familiar with all of the things that people don't like about Denuvo, ex-account Pirate Nation made a handy little list. He responded to a post that the official Stellar Blade account put on X, pleading with them, saying, Denuvo will decrease your sales. Denuvo cost you $25,000 per month, and the activation fee. Literally, your company will lose money with this. Here is a list of issues Denuvo can cause: incompatibility with older hardware, activation issues, requires constant internet connection, frames per second drops, increased loading times, system crashes, game save corruption risk, computer usage overload from the encryption, it often blocks mod support, delayed patch fixes and updates, no video game preservation, limited activations / devices, and very rare cases of antivirus blocking the game from running, thinking it's ransomware due to Denuvo encryption. It causes increased power consumption, causes more wear on your storage drives, conflicts with other background software, causing incompatibility. And now, in fairness, Stellar Blade themselves have responded to the concerns from gamers, and they are doing their best to make people feel better about the situation. One thing that I really love about Shift Up is how well they communicate with gamers. It isn't always what we want to hear, because Sony often dictates things to them from on high, but they are often talking to gamers and letting us know that we are at least heard. Considering how seldom we see such a thing in the gaming industry these days, Shift Up's community managers are a breath of fresh air. But anyhow, this is what the official Stellar Blade account said. We are closely discussing the region lock issue with the publisher and are doing our best to resolve most of it as soon as possible. So that tells us that Sony, the publisher, is the one responsible for the region lock problem. But reading on, they wrote, as shown in the test chart below, the DRM has been hard-tuned to maintain the same average frame rate with even higher minimum frames in some cases. Mods are fully supported without any restrictions, PSN connecting entirely optional and never required. I'll speak more about that in a second here. And then it says, both the PC and PS5 versions offer the same content. We will make sure that early buyers are never at a disadvantage through future updates. And what they're referring to with that is the concern that some people had that the PS5 players would not have access to the new outfits being added to the PC version of the game. Apparently, that is not an issue, but one outfit is being locked on PC behind a PSN requirement. Now, Sony isn't making the same mistake with this game that they made with Helldivers 2 and requiring a PSN account to be linked, but they are blocking this outfit here from anyone who doesn't have their PSN account linked. I'm not in love with that, but if that's the extent of the penalization a player gets for refusing to link a PSN account, then that's not the end of the world. So, anyhow, circling back around, Stellar Blade is certain to be a success on the Steam platform. In fact, analysts have long predicted that it will sell better on PC than it did on the PS5. But, for whatever reason, Sony seems bound and determined to create controversy and to put little asterisks next to all of their big wins, because I suspect that if they hadn't added Denuvo and if they didn't have all of these region lock issues for the game, then it would already be the top seller on the Steam platform a little under a month away from its release. But Sony is gonna Sony, so here we are. Anyhow, I'm gonna leave it there. What do you make of this Stellar Blade release information? Do you still plan on buying it? Drop your thoughts into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.